Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. Take a deep breath. Okay, we have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you today. I was just doing some clearing. The energies were just calling me to clear. I was feeling the energies being pushed over to the right of the masculine side, especially in the head and above the head. So you might want to clear your third eye and crown. I woke up this morning feeling like I got hit by a Mack truck. And also wounds of guilt and societal norms were coming up, worrying about what others will think. But the guilt, like literally just dealing with guilt today and processing through that. The SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 9:17 to 18 today, which is the 9 of the Hermit and the 17 and 18 of the Star and the Moon, which actually were they were standing out to me in the read today for sure. And the day is February 5th, 2020. The 5 is the Hierophant. It also is the number of change and freedom, vacations, things like that, expansion. And the day adds up to 11 today, which is justice, which is truth and balance. It's also, the 11 is a very visionary, spiritual number. And so we have the Hierophant and justice today, both majors about, and so we have the societal norms coming up with the Hierophant and justice. So very much about commitments to truth and balance. And what does justice mean to you? And the read was finished at 9:39 to 40, which is the 39 of the Knight of Cups and the 40 of the Page of Cups. And the major arcana were the Tower, Ascension, Luna, and Reason. Ascension is the world, Luna the moon, and Reason is the Emperor in this deck. We also had 3 cups and 4 swords. There were no wands or pentacles at all, which is very unusual that I have 2 suits not represented here. We have the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups in the read, and that was it for the court cards. So just 2 pages, the Page of Swords and Page of Cups. And we had the numbers that came up in the read were 5, 6, 7, Made in Heaven, and the number 1 and 9 in the main part of the read. That was it. We also had triple 2s come up, as well as 9, 10, Begin Again, and 34. 34 was a big deal today, which is the 8 of Wands, that fast-paced communication back and forth, expressing feelings, exchanging energy, the arrows of love, all that kind of energy. And then we also had the 1 of the Magician, the 9 of the Hermit, the triple 2s, like I said, and the 12 of the Hangman, 23 of the King of Wands. And then the code line was all about effort and abundance, only the AB was covered in abundance, so it came up as the undance regarding AB. And so I'm going to get into AB in a minute. There's a lot of meanings for AB. I mean, you might know them as abdominal muscles or the type of blood AB, but it's also the abbreviation for Albert, first of all, and then Abraham and Abbott as well. It means father, water, and fish, as well as stands for Alberta in Canada, able seaman, antibody, at bat, aid to blind, airborne, air base, artificial breeding, and it's also slang for an abscess from illegally injecting usually heroin. It's also short for abort. Also ex and from, like exiting out of or out of something, from something. Take off, off, or in other words, no longer attached to something, so off of something. From, also a hammock, steam, mist, and fire. And Latin is from, away, out of, or down, or from. Also at, on, in, after, by, of, and since all come up for that abbreviation, as well as around and river, so that coincides with water. with defect or defect, imperfection, flaw, and also means son of, which is very interesting because in the code line, reason was covered up with the cards and it made the words a son. So within the code line is a son, and then one of the abbreviations for AB is son of. And they both were connected or attached here to the Emperor card, which is reason in this deck. So some of the headers that came up were all about Ascension stuff. Ascension, the mini-series, Ultima 9 Ascension, numbers 48 and numbers 74 came up, which is the 8 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. The 4? I'm sorry. The 8 of Cups and the let's see, 3, 6, and 74 is the 6 of Pentacles. Also 7.7 thousand views came up, which is the 77 of the 9 of Pentacles, or the Sovereign. And 2045 came up twice in that headline, which is the Judgment energy, and the 45 of grieving, the 5 of Cups. Also popular Ultima 9 came up again with Ascension and Avatar videos from YouTube. And that first one, Ascension, was Wikipedia. And on that third one, it said, let's play underneath. God have mercy on your soul for let's playing this game. Then someone's name came up for YouTube. It was Jen Stellaris, or Stellaris, Jens, and then in lower caps, Tellaris. And then the next header was TI, lowercase I, and then 2S. And TI comes up as Tao for God, and then 2S. And for me, S is Sophia. It's also going to go back to our code line today because the chakra system is significant, and lowercase I for me is the chakra system. So toggling up, using your chakra system as 2, the masculine and the feminine, using your feminine energy, the Sophia. So 43823 came up there on YouTube, and January 15th, 2020 came up. So again, the 20s of Judgment, 15 of the Devil, and 1 of the Magician. But also look back to these dates. They may be significant for you. And that was a French website with 36 views in 3 minutes. So 36 is the 10 of Wands and 3 is the Empress. Another Ascension YouTube came up. That was July 24th, 19. Ascension speakers came up. It's from Steve Hoffman Music Forums on January 22nd, 15. And Ascension YouTube, the metal band, came up, as well as ASON.TV, which is asun.tv, literally, which is a bi-direct company. And then Flixtor, Flixtor, came up from flixtor.to. And the code line here was all about a sun. And remember, it's about effort and abundance, but the undance of the AB. So TV was also coming up about TV Ascension, but more so about the television, right? Your telepathic and heart connection, and your connection from your chakra system to your higher self as your sense, right? The sixth sense connection of fidelity and the 9. The Hermit, the collective consciousness. So remember, the Hermit, the wise one, is also representative of the collective consciousness, the human God, because the collective consciousness is all of God. And also is connecting with the chakra system and the high vibration of the chakra system. So again, it's about the human connecting up to their higher self, or their God self, their God man. The human, a sun, make an effort to undance. So really what was standing out from the AB for me was the Father and the Son, right? Because we have son of and a son. So it's saying the Father isn't just the Father. The Father was a son before, and the Son isn't just the Father's son. The Son is his own person. So water is coming up with river as well, which has to do with water and flow. And remember, their bodies are mostly water. We are water, so we're the same way water is affected, we will be affected. And then, of course, Abraham is significant here as well. And Albert is coming up as Albert Einstein, and some other stuff is coming up, and I'll get into that in just a second. But make an effort to, there's very much a father-son or father-child at least undancing here. So at 10:14 to 15, I turn the page, which is the angel and the devil, and a turn for the better with the 10. And also coming up that AB being the father, son of, and the water and the river, the abscess and the imperfections of the father and the son. And also the Abe, like Abraham, Albert, and Abbott were coming up. So the television and the ascension, the fidelity and the faith of the chakra system, and giving the son a kiss and a hug, and the need for that. Always connected to the father, the son of, via the chakra system, make an effort to undance from the 3D father-son imperfection. There's a coming away from this connection, a detachment, to unravel from codependent relationship. The father, the son of, seeing the father, you're seen as the father and not of you. You know, he's his father's son, right? People don't know him for him, they know him for his father. So it's about being authentic to you and finding your power, not being known by what your father's known for. They are totally separate from you, and their path may be totally separate from what your true calling is. The father is not more important than the son. Human construct. Time, age, status, and worthiness are all illusions. Father time, Saturn and Capricorn, that respect is a human right. It's not given due to age or status. It's the honoring of another's energy, space, their right to be here in any capacity or experience. That is all of God, the collective consciousness, a group effort. Perhaps the other is walking that path so that you don't have to. Others doing jobs that you don't resonate with or don't resonate with you. You don't need to be identified by who your father is or was. Your father is always with you. Telepathic GPS. Get hooked up now. Abraham Lincoln came up here, Albert Einstein, and Abbott and Costello. All were fathers and sons, or sons that followed their own path, not their fathers. Apart, away from, yet one with the rest. So we start this read with the Tower reversed, which is here. We have the Two of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and the Ten of Swords beneath that. And the parts of a story. So the story exposition, the rising action, the turning point or the climax, the falling action, and the resolution were coming up. The never-ending story. So the Tower reversed and breaking patterns, breaking dawn, and knowing and balanced even with painful endings. Ending pain and death is rebirth. Betrayal, illumination, right? The betrayal shows you something that leads to a resolution. Unhappiness with self or in being alone is lack of satisfaction. It pulls in love, a love offer, but that love offer is coming out of a place of non-judgment or perhaps poor judgment. One who's not sure, deliberating, testing the waters, right? To see what you'll do. So they don't actually have to take the risk. They put it all on you. So AB again is the father, son of, water, river, and away from. Is the nourishing of self by flowing away from that which no longer serves at 10:44 to 45. 10 is the term for the better. 44 is the grounding and integrating, mastering of that offer of love from God. And then the 45 of the grief process, allowing that grief process to pull away from something that no longer serves, because there's always going to be things in your life that change. They're going to serve you, and then they're no longer going to be of use. So it's not that it didn't serve you, but it's going to change. So never get so fixated on something that you can't let go. And that's what, that's the whole principle behind letting go of things, of detachment. So nourishing self by flowing away from that which no longer serves. The way that water, or the human body, flows naturally. A way of seeing energy that you can't see. So water is like energy, but you can see it, where energy you can't see. Not all of it anyway. So what is the water doing? Is it boiling? Is it freezing? Or is it flowing freely? The cold wakes you. It wakes you, but it also shocks you. It freezes your water, and then in the end burns you, like freezer burn. The hot makes you sleepy and drained, but also burns you in the end. It steals your water supply. However, freezing also preserves. It lasts longer. Hot burns out quick. So stay to the middle, erring on the side of cold, to create momentum in your life force. The hypothalamus in the brain is the thermostat of the human body, and 98.6 isn't an exact temperature that the human body has to be. It ranges between 97 and 99, and that's fine. 98.6 is just probably came up because the Celsius number is 34, which is a rounded out number, so it was just probably converted from the 34. And it was also just, it came up through whoever, discovered that initially. But it's not held to that actual 98.6. So 97 to 99 is the human body temperature. So if the human body temperature is 98.6 or around that temperature, why is it then we sweat when it's cooler than that? Well, from the indexjournal.com, the reason for that is the humidity index, because if it's 80 degrees, but the humidity is 90%, then the heat index is actually 113 degrees, which is why your body is sweating. And that's why if like you're in a dry place like Phoenix, Arizona, you don't sweat in the same temperature. Like 80 degrees there is much cooler than 80 degrees it is here in the Philadelphia area. So it's saying that's why it feels good to stay in those lower temperatures, the 70 to 80 or the 75 to 85, depending on what kind of weather you are in, dry weather or humid weather. So to offer a big cup to have and to hold is not to go to a funeral, but to allow the dead to come to you while meditating and toning. Not you worshiping the dead, but the dead giving their respects to you for going on this mission. So that basically come up because your guides are giving you props for what you're doing. The never-ending story, the climax, a turning point in history, which is his story, the part where we find resolution, aligning with desires, getting your ducks in a row by doing what you love, what feels good, being creative. We never die, we only transition, or near-death experience, climax, tower moment, pinnacle. What goes up must come down, expending energy, and then hibernating, sleep, rest, or sitting out in the sun to recharge. The winter of our lives. The cold is seen as death, but it actually brings us back to life. Too much sun and fun is not good for the human body. It needs time to cool off, to rewind and gain momentum again. You can run polarized, hot and cold, or you can run balanced at 60 to 70 degrees, erring on the side of cool, right? Be cool, guys. So what causes lightning? So it has to do with the negative ions on the clouds and the positive ions on the ground and when they meet. The negative bottom charge of the clouds and then the positive at the top of the cloud, the positive charge and the negative charge. And remember that the negative and positive charge are actually the opposite of what the ions look like, right? So something that's positively charged means that it's lacking electrons. It wants more electrons, like it's hungry. And then an ion that has a lot of electrons is satiated, right? It has a negative charge. It doesn't need anything. Others can come to them. They don't need anything. They're full. So the charge for the lightning grows when it grows large enough between the negative ions in the clouds and the positive ions on the ground. When the charge gets big enough, then lightning strikes. So remember, static is stillness, and charges are always looking for an escape or discharged in order to feel better. So as the negative charge gets close to the ground, remember it's satiated, it's a negative charge, right? It's full, it doesn't really feel like going after anything. So just think of that as the clouds coming slowly down to the ground, right? When you see the electricity come towards the ground, it doesn't really show you that big lightning strike until it meets that point on the ground. So as the negative charge gets close to the ground, a positive charge called a streamer reaches up to meet the negative charge. And then the channels connect. And this, by the way, is from scijinks.gov. So we may see several strokes using the same path or the flickering appearance before the electrical discharge is complete. Lightning can get as hot as 30,000 degrees Celsius. It's 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 5 times the sun. It takes about 5 seconds for sound to travel 1 mile. So if the lightning and thunder is almost instantly together, then that's when it's too close for comfort. In the read here, 2 parts Scorpio is coming up and 1 part Aquarius regarding lightning striking. 2 parts Scorpio, 1 part Aquarius. Where so you can think of the lightning, the negative and positive charges in reference to the twin flame journey, right? So the masculine being satiated, he has too much in his life, he's fed well, he's in a relationship, blah blah blah, and then the feminine as the is positively charged because they're lacking ions. The masculine is a negative charge, and the feminine is the positive charge because they're lacking, they're hungry. So a satiated energy travels very slow. There's no urgency, but as they get close to being grounded, the closest positive charge, or the streamer is what it's called, reaches up to meet them. It may search many channels that fizzle out, but when the charge gets big enough, right, when the longing or the energetic need gets big enough, and that can be for the masculine, the lack of sex, right, or lack of sex life, then lightning strikes. When you practice raising your third energy and being present, the meet can be much more pleasant or manageable, as opposed to that love at first sight thing where 2 people come together and they have sex at the first meet, right? That's like that something that's not manageable, right? Becomes out of control. Whereas the twin flames come together from the opposite way, from the 3D, coming together spiritually, and then as friends, and then as physical lovers in the opposite way. So when you practice the raising of the third energy and being present, the meet can be much more pleasant and manageable, becoming more satiated, leaving the lack consciousness and gaining attention for not needing a thing. If both are neutral or not starving or satiated, then you can meet in the middle, which is kind of like that 0 point, where lightning without goes more within, right? So since the twins are a contained unit, it's referencing lightning in the sky as the lightning within the twin dynamic as far as the third energy. Not dependent on each other, but independent of each other, feeling really good around the other who accepts you as you are. There's no push and pull. Allowing each other to ground themselves without external climax, never nearing the end because you're self-contained between twins. The King of Pentacles with justice, truth, and balance, or Libra, frustrated, not aroused, creative block or inability to conceive or conceptualize, uninspired, no growth, broken, broke down, broke up, broke through, with the secret out, but not announced through normal channels. Through the grapevine, and this is not the only time grapevine comes up in this read, so that was significant. Through the grapevine of Cancer, Pisces, and Aquarius, the Dark Mother, the Viking, Italian, Greek, or Middle Eastern without intuition, or one who can't make a decision, was representing here the 3D, 4D, and 5D shadows, the dark humans or the dogs, the hooks or the triggers, and then that's the 4D and the rainbow bridge, and then the shadow puppets of the 5D, the unawakened dead or bad spirits that 3D are affected by, but not the people who are consistently in 5D. And that's at 1155, which is justice, and the Ace of Swords, Excalibur. So dogs of one with salt and pepper hair, olives and apricots presented on greens, who summons the dead to wake up and do bad things. The show is over, say goodbye. And that's at 1156, justice and the 2 of Swords, being in your knowing. The third eye hook and poor judgment, clear and ground often. So you're being called to clear and ground often. 3 stooges or 3 blind mice. The King of Pentacles is not amused by them. The stars are out, 1 big and 3 smalls, a left pitching arm, an outpouring of emotion, a very light night sky tonight as healing takes place and dreams come true. In the aftermath comes resolution, but it takes time since Jack and Jill broke their crowns and are having trouble finding a peaceful place, strategizing or implementing a plan, grasping at a faulty or icy foundation with a stick in the spokes perhaps. And then I was getting shout, say that you love me, say that you need me. Okay, so Otis Day and the Nights were coming up, and then night and day, you are the one. A little bit louder now, a little bit softer now. Doris Day and Gladys Knight and the Pips comes up here. And Gladys Knight and the Pips, Every Beat of My Heart, 1959. She didn't get the Gladys Knight until 1961. It was the Pips, and then Gladys Knight and the Pips in 1961. And then, of course, so many famous songs, but It's Got to Be the Morning After comes up also. It's got to be the morning after, if we can hold on through the night, from Poseidon. That's Maureen McGovern and Poseidon Adventure. And then Brokeback Mountain was coming up as well. And then, and in 1967, that was Gladys Knight and the Pips, Heard It Through the Grapevine. And I'm getting significant connection right now. Heard It Through the Grapevine, okay? So, about rumors. Unrequited love comes up, and beneath that for the masculine was forgiving and learning. The Emperor is out of control or going through ego death. The Wounded Warrior reversed surrenders, and the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, is between 2 perspectives of the same thing. The Knight of Pentacles offers a healthy alternative to the Queen of Wands reversed, uninterested, as the rose-colored glasses come off. Interest in thigh highs and boots and corsets and dressing up, as the Divine Masculine glazes over, seeing reality for the first time, that they're only interested in, she's only interested in admiring her own legs, not his. The loyal, humble servant and fantasy family or business or legacy is tied together by the weakest link because misery loves company, not love. It's not out of loyalty. It's not out of love. It's out of loyalty to a father or father-in-law or a business. Physical activity comes up with number 67, which is the Knight of Pentacles, as well as change, which is that number 5 of freedom and expansion and change, and the Hierophant. So there is the Knight of Pentacles and the Hierophant, which is the societal norms. And then the Knight of Pentacles is that loyal, humble servant, so they like to please people, right? So healing and forgiving, grounding and integrating an offer of love. Someone may be bored and just apathetic at this time. At 12:31 is the Hangman and the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is all about that conflict, fighting, expansion, games, competition energy, being on the quest. Dreams are grounded here, though. Touchdown. Okay, so touchdown is connecting back to not only the Super Bowl, but also lightning striking the ground. It's the masculine grounding. The dreams are coming into the physical realm, okay? So at 12:32, which is the Hangman and the 6 of Wands, the Journeyman, the journey, the Hermit is hiding their face, carrying a load of fireworks or lightning bolts into magician embodiment. The stars and the head under covers, because the Hermit's dreams are the collective consciousness dreams, the weight of the world upon their shoulders to make sure these fireworks go off without a hitch. Time for the show, the new one of magician embodiment of all the elements, the 4 hats we wear, the 4 seasons, and Vivaldi, present to the darkness of the fall, into winter, gray, the darkness of the fall into the winter gray, and now ready for spring as ships have sailed, time for those fireworks to be released with northeast trajectory, unable to find peace until these feelings and energies are shared, confirmed, and received. Or worried about one traveling overseas or someone who ran away. The shepherd is missing one of his flock or herd and must get someone to watch the flock while he goes in search of someone. And that was at 12:44, which is the Hangman And the Four of Cups, the mastering, grounding, and integrating of love, and the mailman showed up at that time. And that's the getting the confirmation received. Or one parent took a child to another country without the other parent's permission or them knowing about it. Shanghai was coming up here, and then Chinese and chopsticks, seaweed, or just high on grass with Chinese munchies, and the frog unable to find peace even when high or feeling someone's absence now, trying to erase from their memory or dream time, but it's not working. The Poseidon adventure comes up here. All right, so there's some kind of shipwreck going on here, or just the energy. Some of you may have experienced the Poseidon adventure together, so it might be a wound that needs to come up. The ship is lost and a search party in the aftermath, or one who went missing and never found, where the family has no peace because it's a never-ending story. There's no closure for them. And wanting to close the door and open another. Implementing a plan, the Queen of Wands reversed in physical activity, or working out to let off steam, because she is reversed here, which can be someone who's just ill or tired, but it can also be someone who's really pissed off or has a bad temper. So recently is the moon upright, as the King of Pentacles offers the gold coin at night in a tidal wave of emotion, offering money or a new life. Standing up for themselves, or stand-up kind of guy. The dog's howling at the moon while the lobster's digging his way out, or his own grave. Digging on hollowed ground, or paying respects at a funeral. A painful end or ending pain, or never-ending back pain at 12:58, which is the Hangman and the Four of Swords, needing to lie down and rest. Or finding a financial backer to get out of this pain, or to take a hit, one for the team. The foundation here is the Page of Swords reversed. No news, hanging out with others at work or church service or social group, establishment, institution, or 3 home and 3 work, or enjoying a gathering or socializing at an honoring or a funeral. Feeling stuck, uninterested, keeping to self as far as socializing, and only connecting for work purposes. So this can represent someone standing back from socializing at work, right? Keeping more to themselves. Frustrated, hung out to dry, unable to conceptualize being honored by peers or a group that holds you up in a time of silence and then connecting eye to eye with them afterwards. The ones who hold you up in a time of need are the ones you should connect with for co-creation. Surrounding self with a support group or healers, or just feeling very alone amidst a lot of people you surround yourself with. No message or a service for a child perhaps, spying or superficial conversation that doesn't mean anything to you, but you may be very good at because you were taught that at a very early age. Or in the aftermath of sudden events or epiphany, a child may be mouthing off or not talking to you, giving you the silent treatment. The central energy is the Ace of Cups, of self-love, spiritual love, of new love, an overflowing of love, seeing synchronicities or in a crowd, but can only see one, heaven in your eyes, patient angel taking one step at a time, a Page of Cups reverse, rejected, vulnerable, shy, or it could be a whiny child as well, and the Knight of Wands rushing in passionately, the Knight of Pentacles proposing to end his pain, an offer of love to the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or going to see a show with the kids perhaps at school, or offering to be a chaperone. The challenge being no ascension, no closure, the world upside down, the Middle East issues, or needing closure with belly dancer in Abu Dhabi perhaps, or Middle Eastern food as your weakness, or Pisces perhaps, or challenged by the world not accepting your new love, expressing feelings and energetic exchange as prisoner, hostage, or dealing with anxiety issues at 121, which is the Magician and the world, getting closure. The Knight of Cups is offering love to confess there ain't no sunshine when she's gone, to pull Excalibur from her stoned heart, to awaken Sleeping Beauty from her prison of hibernation, cutting away her restraints, as well as the Page of Swords reversed and the King of Swords reversed, father-child issues, or inherited traits, moving, visiting, or ending a marriage as the Hermit sheds light on uncomfortable emotions or energies surrounding love offer to the Queen of Pentacles reversed, from those wanting to ascend. The Knight of Pentacles, a simple man worried he won't live up to the expectations of others or equal the love that the world can offer to the divine feminine. In knowing they may be rejected and keeping to self, not fighting or competing to come together in reunion or love, as patient angel, King of Cups reversed, is detached, with the world upside down, or divine feminine in another world, coming together in joy to stand up for self, take the higher ground, aligning with desires and blocks to cancel them out, distance from the King of Wands, or a sun, a little lizard on their platform, eyeing his money-clip slippers. Now is the Six of Cups. Sweet angels they are, with an opportunity or invitation to end family or emotional cycle and research the gold coin, or the Christ consciousness. Or a good student breaks free from a pattern, or first in the family to go to college, etc. Celebration and joy of an ending, sudden event, explosion, eruption, or epiphany, or near-death experience without peace, a never-ending story and on to the next, or funeral service, or a celebration of life, a different perspective. Rest in peace after living in the past, or a life review and looking back and then party, the inner children hugging. Big love at work after battle, a reunion. The Knight of Wands rescues patient angel and partners working to align with his emotional detachment and nightmare or dungeon of another world, or that their world is upside down, or dealing with a third world country at 141, which is the Magician and the Ace of Cups. Manifesting love. Leo or ego, or strong and taming the beast, with Cancer reversed or brokenness, an inability to move on, or Justice or Libra, that all is fair in love and war. Taming the beast or the warpath, the universe balances all out, expressing feelings and energetic exchange. The Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, or dream family, or life, or business connected to wealthy family of silent partner, financial backer, or sharing or settling out with the Queen of Cups. And there also could be a Leo, Cancer, and Libra at work, rescuing by aligning with suffering in silence, or others who are suffering in silence. Perhaps this group is reaching out to get the Queen of Cups to rescue them, or offering a karmic partner a payoff for their pain and suffering. Or in a split, or the world turned around, ending the Ten of Cups reversed, emotional cycle, or family ending, with a coming together or celebration. A star rises or healing takes place. Dreams come true, standing up for self, coming clean or getting clean, with an offer of a new life and working to align with the desires and get their ducks in a row. Soon for the masculine is the Five of Swords, but it's upright. At war, even though the battle is over, or lost a game, but destiny is here to spin the father-son relationship in your favor. Or the war between the Page of Swords reversed and the King of Swords reversed against the King of Wands, with the Queen of Wands reversed under the radar, or feeling like a failure in a split, or not getting attention and wanting it. Uncomfortable energies of negativity, or negative communication or superficial communication, powerless or loss of money, power, and independence, or this can also be two kids mad because they're not getting what they want. But seeing synchronicities, heaven in their eyes, too many choices and not enough time to choose what you love most over other things or people you love less, standing up for yourself to others, trying to hold you captive, that you belong to them, they own you. So this is coming up again, that came up yesterday too, ownership. The divine masculine is seeing himself as the Seven of Swords reversed, coming clean, getting clean, and freeing self in a new path, leaving the devil behind, along with the chains that bind. The prisoner or anxiety recovering from exile of Taurus or marriage or religion or establishment. You deserve love comes up for the masculine, soulmate, and free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life at 206, which is the High Priestess and the Lovers. Capricorn waves goodbye to Taurus. And then we're at 205, the High Priestess and the Hierophant. Around the divine masculine, or how he may be seen, is the Page of Cups reversed, rejected, vulnerable, sad, shy, with happy memories perhaps, or an exchange of love with childhood friend, sibling, or soulmate. The King of Cups reversed detached, and Sovereign Nine of Pentacles powerless. Or the King of Cups reversed is dependent on their kids, or wiped out financially by kids overspending or spoiling them. At war, or with bodyguards, the Battle of Normandy, tripped up, fell, or fell off the wagon, dropped the facade, and or breaking patterns of holding their tongue or being a loose cannon. Waging war is a losing battle, or the Divine Masculine is protecting the Divine Feminine from the King of Cups reversed, detached or emotional or alcoholic, with two teens perhaps. One may be a spender or powerless, and the other doesn't speak up for themselves and then lashes out at their sibling. At 213 is the High Priestess and the Death or Transition card. And a bird hit the window at that point. Okay, so just as I'm talking about the kids, okay, so that could be kids hitting bottom too, right? Which is good, because that means then there's just time to start healing. Or defending kids against twin for no reason, the twin only loving you, and remembering when you are at war with twin, you're at war with self, a war you can't win, 39 lashes. Only a fool would take 39 lashes voluntarily, and they're verbal lashings here. The Queen of Wands reversed in the middle. The Queen of Wands reversed is coming up here in the middle here. Perhaps abusive or bad temper, and needing the masculine needing to clear blocks of suffering in silence, or a sister perhaps. And the Queen of Pentacles reversed and Emperor reversed, suffering in silence connected to the Queen of Wands reversed, right? So they could be siblings there. And then connected to the Queen of Wands reversed. The king could be siblings with the Queen of Wands, or if he's the King of Wands, or they can be partners, and then the Queen of Pentacles reversed would be a sibling. So demanding attention from the King of Wands, the Queen of Wands. Effort comes up here in abundance, and the Page of Swords without a leg to stand on. No message, no news, or just immature or superficial communication with three females: the father, the son, and the one who ghosted you, or the one who's severely depressed. The ghosts of Christmas, present, future, or past, present, and future, and how to change your now moment. And that was at 222, by the way. So rebirth comes up, and relationship change is really significant for the Divine Masculine here. The Emperor is also the Reason card in this deck, and it's reversed. Handing off his false hand to Sun, the King of Wands. The Emperor out of control or going through ego death, offering a new life to work in a more balanced and creative way apart from the King of Wands. The Page of Wands inspired by grieving or father wanting to make amends, and knows he's skating on thin ice with them, right? So the father is trying to make amends with the son, and seems like it's coming from someone who would never normally do that, right? They're always right. So here's where a father may be retiring or stepping down, not being able to do something anymore, and wanting to do something else, but trying to make amends with a child. And the child's appreciating it, but also knowing that he's skating on thin ice, because, you know, someone doesn't change on a dime, and the child is aware of this, whether this is a child or a grown child. At 227 is the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands, which is a new passion. So the Emperor reversed, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the Queen of Wands reversed are all coming up here as suffering in silence. The Divine Masculine's blocked because he needs to let them get themselves out of it, like, right? Because they always expect him to make them feel better, but they have to learn to make themselves feel better. Three of Wands is looking back, and the Queen of Swords is speaking about coming clean, getting clean, that the secret's out with or about an Empress and Magician lovers, or Pisces, Taurus, and Gemini, Virgo, or Aries lovers. The Emperor reversed, giving up his right false hand for a son he never had, perhaps, wanting a new life with kids, or twin, creative work, or shaman, perhaps, destined after being shallow in communication, and then changing into a shaman, which would be much more deep communication. The father comes clean to his son, or the son he never had, leaving to make magic with secret Empress, lover of the past. Soulmates or twins in surrender to another world, loyal, humble servants. Lightning already grounded in negative communication or negative self-talk, coming clean or letting the hot air out of the balloon, freeing self from the Page of Cups reverse, rejected one, or spoiled child. At night, there's a new love energy here, and challenged by the world being upside down, or war in the Middle East, where family perhaps could be worried about relatives there, or having to do with the airstrikes between Israel and Palestinian missile attack in the Gaza Strip. So, or children are visiting with a relative perhaps over there, or the Emperor reversed is out of control with past connection. Dropping a facade in knowing of great pain in the aftermath of sudden events. At night, no peace, negative news, or negative self-talk, with new love twin or great love for their children, and challenged by the world being upside down at 257, which is the High Priestess. And the Three of Swords, right? So the heartbreak of the world, basically. Getting clean or coming clean or stopping unnecessary risk-taking. At war with the Emperor reversed or the Page of Cups reversed. Suffering in silence with the Emperor with the Emperor reversed about the past connection. Okay, so that is the read for you guys. I'm going to pull you a few oracle cards. It was just 45.54, and that has to do with the Five of Cups and then the Page of Swords, so the message about grief, right? So the grief of the world, basically. All right, so here, let's start with the enemy. I'm picking up the energy deck, so definitely war's coming up here. All right, so take a deep breath, you guys. Today is February 5th, 2020. For the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear all negative energies here across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, what is our message to sum up this read? What is the point of this read, and what do we need to know about it? What is that we need to know? What is the most important thing? All right, that came right out. 53, the Magician and the Mirror. 53 is like the catapult, the Knight of Swords. And this is like the, it's like coming out, the Magician needing to take a look at himself. All right, there's a few more cards that want to come out here. The bottom of the deck is 51, which is the King of Swords, the Healer of the Ages. Okay, so again, this is like father and son energy, right? Where the Magician has to take a look in the mirror about himself. And does he really like who he's become? And this is about making peace between the healer son and the Magician, who may be a very successful man, okay? That was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so then 3 more cards came out, and then another one. So let's see. We have the Happy Family, we have the Deceit, and the First Chakra Archangel Michael, which definitely Michael was definitely called in for extra protection today. 35 is the Wounded Warrior, the Mary Magdalene energy. All right, and the first chakra, of course, is the root, making sure you're safe and stable, right? Because if you don't have a good foundation, which first is your heart, but then your root as far as stability in the 3D. And then there's deceit within the family here. So if there's deceit in the family, is it really a happy family? And that's when things come crumbling down, because there's been deceit, okay? There's no stability. 25 is the Knight of Wands, and 4 is the Emperor. So the Emperor thinking they have control, which could be that Magician or father energy. And then we have the Knight of Wands, which could represent the Sun energy. And then Archangel Michael could just represent, you know, the home and the instability of the home. The Wounded Warrior. And it can, you know, these two can represent any part of the family, you know, really, just depending on their energy. But this is the Deceit energy, the 25 of the Knight of Wands. And this is the Wounded Warrior. So this could be the player for sure. And then this is more like the Divine Masculine energy. Okay, but really Healer of the Ages. Let's see here. And there's still one more card. So it came out like this first, and Healer of the Ages is the underlying energy. This is like the father or the grandfather, depending on the situation. These are the cards within the family. And then fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael comes up, which then is the heart chakra. Okay, 38 is the feminine energy that brings it all together, right? The Queen of Cups. So again, it brought up the first chakra and the fourth chakra, the root and the heart, because those are the two homes, but the heart is first, the first home. That has to be stable first. And then the physical home. And that's interesting too, because that resonates with what I was getting before when I was meditating before the video. That the masculine was off-centered, like the masculine energy was pushing my energy off to the right, except for the heart. The heart was balanced in the center. But all the upper energies of the throat, the third eye, and the crown were being pushed over to the right. So the masculine was getting too much into the masculine. It needed to be rebalanced into the center with more feminine energy coming in. Okay, let's see what else we have here. This is the Nature's Whispers deck. Take another deep breath. There's a Gwyneth Paltrow is doing a series called The Goop on Netflix. So if you watch Netflix, check it out because there's some really good information on the different series she's doing. Okay. Whoop. Well, they went flipping all over the place. Let's try that again. Okay. So we have the renewal of peace. Oh, the sweet little baby. It's number 13, which is that rebirth kind of energy. And there's the frog again. We had the frog come up in the reading. So allowing the rebirthing. That there's no death really. It's just a transition from one dimension to the next. You know, so it's just like the birth of a little baby. Even if it's not coming, you know, and there's that, the birth, this is like showing like a vagina or a vulva, I should say. But that's funny because that's one of the episodes on the Gwyneth Paltrow series, The Goop. So the renewal of peace. Allowing that innocent energy to come through, within, not only within your children, but within yourself as well. This is all about very sweet, innocent energy. The underlying energy here is Infinite Blessings 17, which is the star, and all the brightness. And it's interesting because this isn't the most colorful of all of the cards. It's actually rather muted for this deck. So it's not about muting your light. But it's also not about ego and trying to outshine others, because that's not the purpose. It's just allowing your natural light to shine through, but also not allowing others to dim your light. That's not the purpose either. This card also came out, One to Be Seen, Clear Endeavor, which is 39, the Knight of Cups, which is about offering or being love, offering love to everyone. Clear in your endeavors. What is it you truly love? And this looks so much, this is really pretty. This is like, I love it. It's very pastel-y. It's so snowflakey with like the rainbows that come off the snowflakes, because they would be very subtle and more pastel-y. It's very feminine. It's like having a really fluffy white coat on out in the snow. There's people gathering outside the homes, like neighbors talking to each other outside in the street, and kids playing and ice skating, and lots of trees like in the mountains type area. And then in the background, it looks like there's like a very modern city, you know, like the Jetsons. I don't know if you can tell. It's hard to see because it's very subtle. But this back here, it looks like a Jetson city. And then we have all these other animals here too. There's twin dogs running side by side. And then another dog and a bunny. It's hard to tell what everything is. There's an owl. There's kids sledding. Kind of looks like a huge bird. Oh, at first it's actually a really big owl with really big wings. But first it looked like they crashed and They crashed into the snow, had a crash landing, which is funny because light, it was coming up as their dreams being grounded today. So someone might have crashed in the snow and the spirit's trying to be funny. It's really beautiful energy. It's so innocent and loving and pure. I mean, between these two cards, there's such purity there. Even though the colors are very different. This is more like 3D pure, even though this is more etheric, really, because this is more like a fairy tale. And then this is more etheric colors, but yet more 3D energy, or the things, the pictures in it. So it's balancing it either way, right? Because you're multidimensional. So when you're in one dimension, you have to balance. Maybe the colors will be different in order to balance you back to the 3D. And when you're in the 3D, the colors may be able to balance you back to the 5D if you're being in your 3D energy. There's some kind of balancing effect there coming up. All right, so now we have the Metatron deck. So experiment with colors and how they affect you when you're in one state of consciousness or another. Okay, so from Metatron, what do you want us to know? What is the point of this read? What do you want us to know, Metatron? Again, we have blessings and thanks, abundant universe. And the cornucopia came up yesterday, which is very, very much similar to this card. So 47 is the 7 of Cups, heaven in your eyes, blessings and thanks, abundant universe. That it's all yours. No negative self-talk. And there's the message in the bottle again. Communication, speak up and be heard. Okay. There's very much about the beach. And fruits and vegetables. Giving your thanks, gratitude, showing gratitude. And then Archangel Sandalphon was with you now. And this Archangel Sandalphon is a very sweet energy. 22 is the Fool, right? That open-hearted fool. Taking the leap of faith. Strumming my pain with his fingers, okay? That's all coming up. And then the bottom of the deck is Akashic Records, Evaluation, and Review. So review actually came up in this read as well. Number 12 is the Hangman, so that's Jesus. So there may be stuff about the crucifixion that needs to come up right now. Let's see here. Yeah, it actually literally came up in the read. I don't know if was that today or yesterday, where you may be called to research more the crucifixion. So these are the 3 that came out. So you can see them all together in the contrast of the colors. Okay. And then one more, we'll get you an animal, and then I think that's going to be it for today. From the animal tarot, what is it we need to know? Oh, a bunch just came out. The bottom of the deck is 5 of Spring. So the rams charging each other, but they look like they're making peace there. It's so funny because I just cleaned off my window and I have 2 bookends from my parents that are like, you know, kind of like the Oriental lions in a way, but they have that same kind of look on their face, you know, and they look toward each other. So the ram says occasionally you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter's worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. Okay, so the cards that came out, life experience, which is 16 of the Tower. So we were just talking about conflict and to minimize it at all costs, right? Without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. The cuckoo, important changes are coming into your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions you know that are right for you. Okay, so life experience. So something will require you to take action, but certainly don't hesitate to move in a new direction if you know it's right for you, if it feels good. There's a lot of butterflies here, but there's only one bird. So it could be the bird saying, they want me to go with them, but I'm a bird. Should I really go with them? So what does it feel? The Emperor's number 4, and the deer mouse. Structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take on a leadership role, as you have much wisdom to offer. Okay? Even if you're a little guy, doesn't mean you're not very wise and you don't have something to offer. You do. And there's a butterfly in this one as well. He's so cute. Okay, 3 of summer, the hummingbird. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. Okay. And the Magician. Unicorn. There's magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. Okay? So that's really beautiful energy. So there's 4 of them. Okay? The bird and the mouse. Life experience, the Emperor. The 3 of summer, the hummingbird. And this has to do with, he heard it through the grapevine. And then the Magician. And the Magician and the Emperor are big time in this read today. So this can reference the Father and the Son as well. Like one's the Magician and one is the Emperor. The Father and the Son. And then here's the feminine energy. And there could be some gossiping, or heard it through the grapevine, or just celebrations and parties where people come together and they hear it from a friend, and that's how the rumors spread. Okay? But so to be good to each other and don't spread rumors. Okay? Very pretty energy. But there's magic in the air. You can have everything. You just need to believe. I have to show you the cards. Okay. So there's your Tower reversed in the underlying energy. Recent past is the Moon. The foundation energies are from the Seeker of Orbs, which was reversed. All right, that can be negative rumors. And then we have the Ace of Chalices or Cups, challenged by Ascension reversed. The Ace of Cups, though, is upright, and so is the Ace of Pentacles. The underlying energies there, and then the 6 of Cups is crowning. That was upright. And then we scroll over here to the 5 of Orbs, which was upright, of war, conflict. And then the masculine seeing himself as the 7 of Orbs or Swords, but that's reversed. So coming clean, that kind of thing. And around him is the Seeker of Chalices or Cups, reversed. And then the block seems to clear has to do with that suffering and silence and allowing other people to heal their own wounds, right? Not saving the day. That's the savior-victim mentality, right? So you can't have a victim without a savior. And then we end up here on the Emperor reversed. And look at the colors of the numerology cards with the yellow and the pink. So a lot of compassion and solar plexus energy, as well as blue, speaking up, throat chakra. And then above that we have the 3 of Wands reversed, and then the 2 of Cups upright. And by the way, the 2 of Cups and the Lovers were both upright in this read. And we finish off at the Knight of Pentacles there. So drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, and rise and be loved, guys. I will see you later. Bye.